I know what you guys are thinking. What the heck is Izzy doing here?
Hey,
They all followed you over from your stream.
that's perfectly fine by me. You know who I am, right? You know what I am.
Nope, I'm kidding.
I'm a famous
See,
local YouTuber, as News 12 likes to
exactly.
say.
Famous local
He
you.
was in a
I
full
forgot,
1 minute
to introduce
segment.
you the right way. Hey Shen, how you doing?
Hi, Shan.
All right, so Izzy's here to talk about a little something that he's going to be doing on his show that we're going to be helping him with.
Woohoo! The Izzy Awards!
It is the Izzy Awards. Yes, the Izzy Awards.
Woohoo! Now, the Izzy Awards are a really fun concept. Obviously, it's a nice play on the awards ceremony, as always. But these are going to be People's Choice Awards. So, those are the best ones. So, the first award is the Golden Ticket Award. This is for Best Movie of the Year. These are the top choices: The Batman, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Top Gun: Maverick, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That's a big deal. And Black Adam. So those are the choices for Golden Ticket Award. All right. Saw it a billion times already. This has to reference to movie trailers that are coming out for 2023. So those are Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, John Wick Chapter 4, Super Mario Brothers movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Transformers Rise of the Beast, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. So there are other movies coming out, but those trailers haven't really come out. And I don't think many people are really hyped about Indiana Jones, so I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
you're right. You're right.
You're saying this saw it a billion times already. They haven't really showcased the trailer for Indiana Jones that much, and what they showcased was this little bit of a trailer. So,
Well, the Spider-Verse trailer just came out last week.
but
Yeah,
Spider-Verse
something like
is
that.
I think I already saw it a billion times, guys.
Spider-Verse has been teasing their trailer for a while.
I think out of all of
No.
these,
This one's new. This is only a week old.
I think
No, you don't understand. The Spider-Verse people have been talking about trailers and sneak peeks, and they've been doing it for ages. Indiana Jones, 2 weeks ago, said, "Hey, look, we got a trailer."
I think
Yeah, but who cares?
That's the point. That's the point. The point is that these guys have been going, "Hey, look at me! Look at me! Look at me!"
Exactly. So that's the trailer. Where I'm gonna actually put the survey here. I'm giving it to you, Ralph, so you could put it in the chat. So if anybody wants to do the survey, because again, it's a survey, you get to do it. So that's the Saw It a Billion Times Already award. Let's go to that next one.
I think John Wick's my pick.
John Wick. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went to I didn't know I had control, so apparently I have control of it. So the Binge Worthy Award. This is for our favorite TV show that came out this year. For you guys, your Game of Thrones fans, House of the Dragon, of course, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, The Sandman. I gotta get my Trekkie fans in there. So Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, Stranger Things, and Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
The hard thing about some of these awards is that you have to go back to the beginning, and it's like, oh yeah, this show came out at that time.
Man, no Cyberpunk Edge Runners here? What's
You didn't
going
tell
on,
me
man?
You didn't tell me anything, man. No.
Nah,
Cyberpunk Edge Runners is super binge.
You,
Out of-
you
Yeah,
know,
people who watched it 5 times right here.
well, I gotta tell you, some snubs will happen.
so out of all of these, though, out of these ones, Peacemaker, easily.
All right, and of course you can vote.
I know.
I already know who's winning. There's solid winners already because I already got plenty of votes in already, so it's pretty cool.
Wait, so
but
you're saying we can do some insider voting?
you guys have the link. You can vote.
What do you think this is? Game of
No,
Two?
no. Insider voting. We see who's winning and we just.
Oh no, I could see who's winning.
Yeah. So you
You-
can tell us who to vote for.
I'm not telling you who to vote for. You vote for your choice.
You should
All right,
tell
let's
us
go.
who to vote
Who do you think this is? Game of Two?
The Galaxy Far Far Away Award. This is for Star Wars series because, of course, Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, if you wanna vote based on the YouTube video that someone posted for Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm okay with that. Right? Tales of the Jedi, The Bad Batch, Star Wars Visions. And if you guys didn't see Star Wars Vision, I know that's a hard one. That's awesome.
That's what I've heard.
It is so awesome. It's an anthology series, so
Made
it's
by a
easy
bunch
to
of
watch.
different anime creators and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
That
it's
was
definitely
pretty
worth.
decent, Yeah,
It's,
it's something different.
I do have to say though, I'm voting right now, and I see the one that you have for after this, and I appreciate you for it.
so let's see which one it is. So let me go ahead and click that. Yep, the Sub It or Dub It Award.
Maybe it's the one after that. But
Maybe the Sub It or Dub It Award is. This was one of those awards that took me forever to figure out what should I call it. Right? It's like, what's a good way of calling an anime award? And I'm like, I'm asking all my friends, and they're coming up with some ideas. I'm like, that's not working. That's not working. And then it hit me. It's like, oh yeah, sub it or dub it. You gonna watch the sub or you gonna watch the dub? So there you have it. Chainsaw Man, Blue Lock, Mob Psycho. Sorry, 100. I was supposed to put the 100. My apologies. Spy Family, Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War, JoJo Bizarre Adventure: The Stone Ocean, My Hero Academia Season 6, and believe it or not, it happened early this year. Demon Slayer, the last season came out this year. I was like, wait a minute, that did come out this year. So I added it.
Your imagination.
Personally,
no edge runners, man.
what was that?
No edge runners.
Dude, I'm sorry. Look how many you have to pick from.
You gotta
It's
make
a
at
lot.
least 3 categories for anime, man.
My daughters were like, Dad, you didn't have this one, Dad. I'm like, come on, you're gonna have some snubs.
I gotta admit, when I was going through the survey, I was like, he missed out on a couple things. and you're right, though. There's stuff that you completely forgot that started at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's the hard part, the early stuff.
You gotta do 3 to 4 lists for anime alone, man.
We'll do that for next year's, the Izzy Awards 2023. All right. So tell me you just didn't say that award. That's for wrestling catchphrases. So now we're going to go into wrestling and acknowledge me. That's Roman Reigns. Scissor Me Daddy.
Yep.
All right. That's the Acclaim. I'm better than you, and you know it, MJF. Bro. Matt Riddle. And we want the smoke. That is the Street Profits.
None of these can handle. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Well, he did not say it this year, so.
He might say it
I
next
still
year.
don't care because, I look at these cats.
Ralph. It doesn't matter what you think.
Exactly.
Listen, number 2 right now. Just saying.
Scissor Me Daddy is like a big one.
Scissor Me Daddy, let's go.
Scissor. All right, that's a big one. But acknowledge me, man. Come on.
Nah.
Acknowledge me when he goes out and he tells people, I'm just saying. But then again, like I said, these are the top phrases today. The next one is what a card. And this has reference to do with best pay-per-view /
Yep.
premium live event. So, of course, you got to throw in WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania, right? Especially since we get Stone Cold in there. He came back, right? AEW All Out for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, well,
Right? SummerSlam, which is the first Triple H run pay-per-view, which was awesome. AEW Revolution, we just had it. That was really good as well. Survivor Series, I'm shocked that Survivor Series made a list like this because the previous Survivor Series have been difficult. But man, War Games, right?
War Games saved it.
War Games did. Ooh, yeah, exactly. The first one and the last one. But there was some really good matches throughout the whole card.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and of course AEW Grand Slam. I was there. I was present, and it was a fun show. It was a really good show, especially the Rampage side of it as well, where a lot of people didn't know about. So that's the What a Card Award. The next one is What Just Happened Award. This has to deal with wrestling moments or wrestling-related moments, right? So CM Punk Pipe Bomb 2.0, the press conference where things just went down.
Mm-hmm.
And who would have thought Vince McMahon was ever going to resign?
Yeah, I feel like that.
Well.
Everything else is gonna
Well.
Who thought that was going to happen? In all fairness,
that's the
New
win
York-
right there.
New York Post knew.
New York Post knew, but then again, who pays attention to New York Post sometimes?
Every wrestling fan when he resigned.
All right.
No, that's wanting him to resign.
Okay.
We didn't think
I
he
don't
was
know.
gonna
I'll be real with you. The Logan Paul crowd is probably bigger than most.
That's true. Logan
resign.
Paul.
Who?
Logan Paul.
Who the
He's
hell's
some
Logan
other
Paul?
YouTuber. He's another
He's
YouTuber.
huge, man.
He's as big as
Huge.
Mr. Beast, man.
Huge. He's
No,
huge.
no, he is huge.
He is pretty big.
I don't care how much you're gonna tell me this. I'm gonna tell you the same thing. He's huge. I don't like him. I don't like
Just
Logan
because you
Paul.
don't like someone doesn't mean it's not
I
true.
can, dude. I can do it, man.
Now you're gonna see everybody voting for Logan Paul just to spite you, bro. Right?
Do it, man. Make it happen. You like him? Vote for him. Go ahead.
How's this one? Brock Lesnar forklifts the ring. If you did not see that, go check it out.
Well, it wasn't exactly a forklift, but yeah.
But you get my point.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It was awesome.
It was the best thing this year.
It really was one of the greatest things. And of course, sentimental favorite Saraya Page returns to the ring. That was a big deal. And of course, Stone Cold returning.
Yep.
When we saw Stone Cold, come on, man, and he was still kicking ass and taking names.
Until the worst stunner of the year. Yeah.
Hey, but Kevin Owens did his best to sell it, man.
What it was that Vince stunner that happened.
I was there for the Vince Stunner.
It was terrible.
It was ugly in person too.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's move on to our comic books related awards, and that's Things Will Never Be the Same. This is my friend's Josh. He wanted.
I have to say this. I saw the selections, and I sat there and go, none of them win.
Because it's a joke. It's a joke, dude. So the joke is Things Will Never Be the Same. Right? That is the joke in the comic book landscape, that these series are supposed to change the status quo. I don't know what Dark Crisis is going to do because the last issue is this week, but they're supposed to restart all over again.
Again.
It's gonna do
again.
nothing.
So,
It's gonna do nothing.
so these are the crossover events that happen. To be honest, none of them really have like major lasting effects. But that's the joke about this award, to be honest, right? So you got Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. You got the Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day, which some people actually liked. I was looking that up. People really did like that story. I was like, it's okay.
They did.
Dark Reign, that was another story that came out a little while earlier ended in the summertime. Hellfire Gala, another one, an X-Men story. And Flashpoint Beyond. Out of all the stories, I think Flashpoint Beyond was a really solid story. And it had to go on the list because, first of all, it was a solid story. Out of all of these, did it change the status quo? Who knows, but it's a Flashpoint with Batman. Go figure, right? Flashpoint Batman. Are we seeing something coming up soon?
Flashpoint Batman, yeah. Oh, the Flashpoint. Yeah. I thought it was another Batman movie.
I know, right? So this is binge reading for Rainy Day Award. These are for traded paperbacks that came out this year. The Nice House on the Lake, James Tynion Goodness. James Tynion the Fourth Goodness. All right, that's a Black Label book. All right, Nightwing has been on fire this year. So it's actually one of the best titles this year, Nightwing. So Tom Taylor's Nightwing. Yeah, another sleeper hit that came out of nowhere. Fantastic Four Full Circle. That's the Alex Ross hardcover book that came out later.
It looks really pretty.
Like in the fall. It's beautiful, dude. Uh-huh. He changed his style a little bit. So that book, just by the look alone, is worth it. Right? It's just an art book. That's what it is. Radiant Black. A lot of buzz behind Radiant Black and how cool that's been. X-Force by Benjamin Percy. A lot of people like that one. And Rogues Gallery, which is also a really cool take on, social media and its influence on people. So if you haven't read that one, that's a fun book to read.
I am the Rogues Gallery.
and we're not talking about Flashes either. Flashes Rogues Gallery. The Wrist Breaker Award. This is for Omnibus. So when you read it, it's going to break your wrist, how heavy it is. So these were picks that were given to me by my good friend at the Comic Book Report. Shout out to those guys. He has a great channel. He loves doing reviews, so I asked him to help me out with this one. Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man Volume 1, The Boys Volume 1, Star Wars Omnibus Adventure, Nocturals, and Omnibus number 1.
Where's
Right.
the Tales of Mystery, man?
Yeah, right.
Tales of Mystery worth manning.
I can't. I'm looking at.
If you think that book can hit you, that's gonna kill you.
I'm looking at all these awards. I'm like, man, where's the source?
We'll talk afterwards.
I got words with you, Izzy.
I'm gonna pull the book out later and go look.
All right, Slab Those Books Awards. So the Slab Those Books Awards are books that they had amazing cover artists, and the important thing is that the book in itself doesn't really mean anything. It was the art in the cover that you want to slab and get that sucker graded and put it in display. So of course, who had more books to slab than Peach Momoka this year? But then again, Jorge Jimenez, amazing artist. Dan Mora, another one of those amazing artists. I love his stuff on World's Finest, right? Another classic guy that was doing a lot of good stuff was Bruno Redondo. He was doing a lot of those Nightwings covers that were really cool. Some negative space covers, so really good stuff there. Art Germ, of course, Art Germ's in the list because he's always doing something. Sotomaki, the Catwoman covers by Sotomaki are amazing. He's, I think I always forget it's a she. Sotomaki's a she. She has been doing these Catwoman covers that make her look like Michelle Pfeiffer, and they are amazing, right? My boy, the illest, Javi Jordans, of course. He's there, Department of Truth. And Ivan Taros, of course, his artwork is amazing. So, and there's a lot more guys out there, man. There's a lot of guys. Which one's that one?
You narrowed it down to this.
Trey Antley.
Oh yeah, that's another one. You got this new guy, John Gian. He's awesome too. He's been killing it in some of these titles that have been coming out. You're gonna take a look at his Deadpool. He has Wolverine like this, gorgeous. So a lot of good stuff. All right, FOMO of the Year award. This goes out to books that when they came out, they were gone almost immediately, and everybody went crazy looking for them. All right,
So are we choosing which one went out faster, or are we choosing which one we want?
No, it's whatever you want to do, man. This is the book that you consider to be the FOMO of the year. Is it really worth it? That's the question of the day, right? Batman Spawn, the Barnes & Noble exclusive. That's recent. That just happened just about a week ago.
Yeah.
People are going crazy looking.
Yeah.
Book going out for
What's
$40.
up, Sebastian?
Okay, how could you not put Amazing Spider-Man #1, the M&M covers, into FOMO of the year?
Yeah, everybody wanted that too. That just happened recently too.
That just happened recently, and it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nobody even knew it was happening.
No one knew it was happening except Eminem.
Yeah.
8 Billion Genies #1, the Trish
Dude,
Forster
that-
variant.
that's
That is
the
the
winner.
Super Mario cover,
Yeah, that's gonna be the winner, man.
right?
Because that's talk about hard to find.
The Super Mario.
First
They
print.
the first print, right?
Yeah.
Joker, Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue 3, the Lee Bergamino variant. That's the Christmas variant. That's a creepy Christmas variant where he has the baby crying and the baby's dressed up as Robin. Joker and Robin don't go together.
No.
All right. Dark Ride #1, the Tom Welling variant. This is where they're making fun of the Disneyland posters, so that's what Dark Ride's doing. The Superman 75 New York Comic Con exclusive, the red foil exclusive. What was interesting about this one is that I was in Comic Con, I got this book, and I didn't get it in Comic Con. They had to mail it out to me. But everybody wanted it because it was the exclusive, and it never even made it to New York Comic Con.
That's
All right.
that always happens. though. There's stuff that never makes it to New York.
All right, Batman 423, the Go Foil exclusive. That's the Todd McFarlane reprint. Of course, early in the year, everybody wanted that book, right? And again, Sotomaki's Catwoman 43. This is the Catwoman Harley Quinn cover, where they're holding each other, and Catwoman actually had a glass drink, and in the glass drink, it was supposed to be wine. They changed it and put milk.
Oh man, Sebastian says was in demand. They took pre-orders.
All right. The little engine. These are the awards that matter. I think these are the awards that matter the most, guys. the Little Engine That Could award. These goes out. This award goes out to Kickstarter projects that just made it. Right? They just made it. They just got funded. I remember very last day, right, Ralph? We were like, "Come on, let's get these guys out." Over.
Let's help them out. Let's help them go.
All right, and they did it. They made it happen, right? So you got Airhead 1 and 2, Surfer Heroes Sci-Fi Comedy by Mindy Indy. Love goes out to Mindy Indy. Earlier this year, right? Earlier this year, Leon Not Lee, Ham Wan Wee Productions. They're awesome couple. They did it. I remember meeting them over at EternalCon. Remember, we were out there in EternalCon. They were there. They were working on their books, so they got it. One that you were really pushing for, Ralph, was Made It in Disguise, Bitsy Tandem.
Yeah, we got it. We got it, though. We got it.
We made it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
A good friend of mine's Todd Maffey. He was also early this year. He was trying to get Disciple over, and he finally did it, right? So that was another book. And Sacrimony by M. I can never say her last name. Sorcerer? I can never say her last name right. But she was also one of them that was like, she was at that last trip. She was getting there and she did it. And Flash Delirium, Rabbit's Badass Song. Also another great song.
I'm a little bit biased.
A little bit biased or a lot biased?
Just a little.
A little bit. I wonder who he's rooting for.
Hey, they just came in at like 6 o'clock today.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. All right, now we got the Stretching the Goals Award. These are for Kickstarters that went over and above their goal, right? Our boys over at Wayward Raven Media, we suck at comics.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. All right, another one, Dan Price with Bigfoot Knows Karate. I got my copy here. That was fun. All right, karate. All right, Crit Caffeine Chaos, the D&D Adventures by Chris Soloff, another one of those books. And how could I not put Phil? Phil Rustler.
I just put Tragedy.
Wait, but where's arncomic.com? We need arncomic.com here.
I don't know, man. I think
He did stretch the stretch goals.
out of all of the Source Point Kickstarters this year, I think the one that did like a lot higher than the goal was maybe the mystery one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mystery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It kept going and going and going.
Mystery is still going on. It's coming out this week, issue 2.
What?
So, Mystery is coming out. Issue 2 is coming out this week.
I don't know. Talk about Tales of Mystery.
Yeah. I was like,
Yep. And we got the I Don't Like It, I Love It award. This is what I consider to be the best series this year that came out. Grimm. Batman. We'll talk about the failsafe story. That was an awesome story. Batman, Superman, World's Finest. Mark Waid, Dan Mora, they were doing an awesome job in that book. It's when I first picked it up, I was like, oh my goodness, reminds me of classic Superman Batman stories. Right? Another one that came out of nowhere, but just kept on building up was 8 Billion Genies. That is a book I had to pick up all the time. Right? You know what I mean?
You and everybody else.
Yeah, I was eating that stuff up. Another book that I love because it actually got wrestling and comic books right was Do a Powerbomb. Awesome stuff in Do a Powerbomb. I love that book. Early this year was Crossover. Everybody was talking about Crossover earlier this year. And Rogues Gallery, there it is again. Silver Coin, a horror anthology series about a coin. It's kind of like, it takes the concept of 100 bullets from way back when. Remember 100 bullets?
Right.
And it's kind of doing the same thing, but with a silver coin and in a horror flair. So those are the best books of the year.
Rise of Dracula.
Rise of Dracula.
That was this year. It was this year.
Spy
Yep.
X Family.
Spy X Family, you gonna count that as a book?
It's a
That's
manga
an anime.
first. It's a manga first.
They're all mangas. They're
It's a
all
manga
mangas.
No, some of them are light novels.
Fucking evil.
All right. Then now hit the like and subscribe. This is for YouTubers that are under 5K. Some little guy named Izzyverse.
One of these isn't there anymore.
Which
Oh
one?
no, I read the name wrong. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So
Some little guy named Izzyverse, just because. Some other show called Bitten Apple TV.
No, those guys suck.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are they?
Oh man.
Oh, he did it first. He did it first.
Where's the jar? Where's the
It
jar?
wasn't me today.
Where's the jar?
It wasn't me
You-
today.
I also say
You
that
can-
because I'm not on the list.
Ralph,
Erod.
you can-
Erod's a fun channel. The comic book report, Nerds of the Round. I wonder who's that about. Who's Nerds of the Round, guys?
Well,
I
Sebastian
actually-
left already, so it doesn't matter.
Joke's on
Doesn't
you.
matter anymore.
Yeah,
Joke's on
Sebastian
you,
left.
I
Look,
actually
he says
don't
it
know.
right here. Okay, now I gotta go. Happy holidays. Bye, Sebastian.
All right, DJ Links, Comics by the Bay. If you have not seen Comics by the Bay, go see Comics by the Bay. The guy is awesome. Michael Gracia, Comic Talk with Pop Van Zant, and Creator Con Event. That's some guy named Phil.
Triangle of Truth.
Hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, again, I missed a lot of them. There's some more. I missed them. I just couldn't think of it quickly. Let's go with the last one. The last one is to smash the like and subscribe. These are for YouTubers above 5K. Who doesn't know Comic Tom 101? Very Gary Comics, Comic Uno, Cartoon Kayfabe, Comics by Perch, Reggie Collects Comics, Comics with Bueller, and the Comic Historian. Those are your.
Gotta be honest, I like Comic Historian, man.
There's some good stuff, man.
Joke's on you. I know none of them.
Bueller.
Comic Historian's my go-to
Bueller.
guy.
Bueller.
Not gonna lie, I go to him all the time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I watch Comic Tom all the time. I watch Comic Historian, Comics with Bueller, man. That dude lives in a van.
Bueller.
So those are the Izzy Awards for
Those are the
this year.
nominations. Now, folks, I put it into the comment section. Go and do your thing and vote for whatever you like from all those things, and have some fun. And let's
have some
when we do the show.
Even though you can't vote for me.
Don't worry, Jordan.
I was
vote for you with
told
my heart.
I should have put write-ups, and I was like, you know what? If I do that, everybody's gonna write the same thing, and they're not gonna win.
Yeah, that's true. So now, of course, you know, if we're talking about hiring people, of course, the guys from Justice for Hire, all being super heroic and taking care of things in their web series. So let's have them in. I'll bring up Autumn Kelly.
Hello.
Hi, Autumn.
Hello.
Hello.
Really need to up my background.
Well, you got a halo, so you could say you're angelic.
That's great.
You went really super heroic there. And of course, the Pan himself, Jan. You say your name.
Hey, it's Jan
Who can
Lucanis.
this?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I met these guys at Urban Action Showcase. It was a blast. It was fun to do the little thing we did on top of the rooftop where we were learning how you guys film your web series and have fun at it and cheat the camera. It was a lot of fun.
Well, we were glad to have you, man. That was a watershed moment of the year.
Dude, it was a blast. It was great to see it. I like the concept of Justice for Hire. Then being part of a scene was even better. You know, you had all of us up there doing our things. Some of us were camera people, and some of us were in the scene itself.
Yeah, man. We had Angelique Zambrana from Gossip Girl and Law and Order and that movie with Dave Bautista in Brooklyn. I forgot what the name is. It's not Bedford, but I always think it's called Bedford.
Dude, it was a blast. It was so much fun. If you guys get a chance to go to Urban Action Showcase, they do a lot of fun things like being parts of scenes or teaching you how to do safe action sequences. It's just a learning experience. So, guys, let's start you off right away. Whoever wants to go with it, tell the folks what you are and what this whole thing is. Give them the spiel.
All right. Well, we are Real World, which is a cinematic social network where anything you post is part of a movie or a show that we're making as a community. Justice for Hire is our very, very first show. And the concept of Justice for Hire is like Uber, but for heroes, where you can hire a hero or become one and get paid. So that concept allows us to have this infinitely expanding cast of heroes and villains, clients that hire them, and anyone who wants to become one of those can join the cast right from their phone. And our app will help you make a character, help you shoot scenes, and then tie those scenes together with other people's scenes to keep expanding the story.
It's a great concept. I mean, a really great concept. What made you guys decide to go with this concept? I know there was a comic book that came up before you guys, right?
Yeah. So the comic was written by my father and I. I grew up in the comic book business at Marvel. My dad's mentor was Jim Shooter, the editor-in-chief of Marvel, and just was always around comics. And one day my dad and I wrote one together, and based on some short films that I was doing at NYU called Justice for Hire. And it took us became our Hollywood calling card. And we became the most downloaded martial arts comic series on Comixology. We set records with iFanboys. What was that? The Graphically set some download records there with JFH, and it just really helped us build a foundation and build a story world. But that was brick and mortar. That was back in the days before apps and iPhones, and that transition between the brick and mortar hero and a hero in an interconnected world, Hollywood still hasn't caught up to that. And that's really the premise for not only Justice for Hire, but our whole company, is that the future of solving all problems is community. And the future of film and TV is community creativity. And Justice for Hire being our very first show, we're making it with the community. We got 7.5 million views in our first episode. Folks across the world making their own heroes and villains and joining us to build a cinematic universe together.
I gotta admit, that sounds like the fun part of it. The whole idea that anybody anywhere can just join and pop in. How does that work out? Because I know there's a main story going on. So do all the bits and pieces that are out there, do they take care of themselves, or do you guys take care of a narrative?
So the main story is really just follows the growth of this app. Like, what happens when you introduce essentially an app that allows people to show up as heroes in their own lives for other people and themselves, and what are the cultural implications of that? And so there's a long timeline that we're going to be rolling across as a community, but we, as a company, as a production company, we're producing the let's call it the main storyline, and we go to camera with professional actors and go on set, etc. And then we have the story world, which all of us populate, right. And anybody can shoot as long as you follow the rules, because there's no superpowers. This is kind of like a kick-ass cinematic universe, real life superhero themed. As long as you follow the basic universe rules, all the content you create is canonical to the main story. And we reach out to folks all the time that are creating. We've met so many folks that have joined our company, joined the cast from joining the cast from social. So they'll create a video. We're like, oh, that's dope. You want to come on set? And then they're on set with us in New York or LA. And then some of them are just so consistent that we're like, hey, why don't you join our company?
And there are also story prompts on the app that help folks who may not have such a clear direction of where they want their original character to go in our story. We have story prompts that really help them along to create content that's really aligned with where our story is going, so that we can easily insert their scene into the premium production that Jan's mentioning that holds the main storyline together.
That's a good way to do it. As a writer, I always use writer's prompts to get me the juices flowing. So it sounds like I like the concept that I'm getting here. If you got the story prompt out there, well, you guys, if you want, you can do this or work in this direction or take this and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to give you an example of that, one of the missions that's up right now is retrieve a stolen cell phone. And to tie together the theme of Justice for Hire and even the inspiration for it, right now in real life, if your phone is stolen and you know where it is and you could find it on like Find My iPhone, etc., and you call the police, they don't have to go and find it for you.
It's happened to me.
It's happened to so many people. And what do you do in a situation like that? And so, from the, fictionalizing solutions to real world problems kind of theme that we have at times, it's like, hey, well, why don't you take that mission on as your character? What would you do? Are you going to have a conversation with the, go to that little blip on the map and go and have a conversation with the person that's holding the phone, or are you going to kick down the door and tear the place apart until you find it? And anything and everything in between, like how would you handle it as your own hero or villain?
But I think it's also worth mentioning that there's a role in the story for clients to create those missions, to keep those missions really aligned with, in touch with culture. Say, hey, what problem is happening right now, and how can we as a community create content and entertainment around it to bring these challenges to light and also present solutions.
That's pretty decent. I like that, and it keeps it in the now.
And you can think of the client as the writer, essentially. So like, and the format, we're patent pending in our process right now, and on WeFunder, essentially raising cash to expand the company, because we want to have infinite shows and movies made by communities. And we see this same model that we're doing with Justice for Hire, working for Harry Potter, or working for Star Wars, working for any shared story world. Any story world, we can make a shared story world.
That's the way to do it, and I like the and again, it's like you were saying in the beginning, and now it's a whole community coming together to make something. Which is an interesting concept, because I've done collabs with other writers or collabs with other creators where everybody puts their 2 cents in, and it's always an amazing experience.
Well, it was amazing having you on set, capturing what was going on, and you've made it into a few of the shots too, because I chopped up that episode on the rooftop. We're finalizing some audio on there now.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So I have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
So, if you could step into the shoes of your own hero or villain, what would that be for you? Like, what is, when you made the video for to announce this interview, you sent a message saying that you kind of took the villain angle. Like, what does that mean for you? What is the villain side of you? How does that manifest as a character?
Oh, that was easy. I was sitting there going, so you guys called yourself Justice for Hire, and right away, I can feel it, I can hear it. There's always somebody out there who's going to be like, oh, so you goody two shoes think you guys are going to go out there and change the world. So let's see what you can do. So all of a sudden now you got a villain who's going to start causing issues, and probably being one of the people sending you to get hired to these jobs, because he's causing these things to happen now, and being a little bit of a mastermind behind the scenes. And that's where I was coming from. I'm like, okay, so this guy doesn't like this whole concept of Justice for Hire, but at the same time, he feels like he can get entertained by it. So how would he be entertained, and how would he go in that direction of doing this whole thing? And of course, it's the mastermind behind the scenes. It's like, oh, you can see me, but can you find me? So I went in that direction. And I was like, let's have some fun with it. Because sometimes the best villains are the ones that are really out there, over the top. And that was the first thing that popped into my head, and it felt like there has to be somebody that's going to come in and be like, okay, guys, you guys are the Justice. Let's see what you can do, and start throwing obstacles and gigs at them.
That is we definitely need more people doing that. This is we want folks who are, we want more heroes, but villains are so important, and being able to recognize the humanity in the villain, to me, is one of my favorite things about cinema. Is some of my favorite characters are villains that you understand their choices, and I'm really looking forward to. We have some amazing heroes but I'm looking forward to seeing some villains on the Justice for Hire app that are right now we villains pose as heroes, so they kind of hide under a hero profile.
Now they're going in that direction now. Okay.
Yeah. So we do these things called universe events. So a universe event like that we have right now is called Enter the Cowboy, where a UFC fighter named Brendan Weaver is playing a character named Cowboy, and this cowboy is popping up, across the nation, messing up other heroes' missions, and essentially knocking them out, mid-mission. And have you encountered this cowboy? Like be careful, like if you see a cowboy. So like there's this theme going on.
That's a good concept.
And it's pretty fun, and that's essentially leading us to a larger event where there's going to be like we're being tested as a community, because there's someone who wants to partner with us, and that turns into these are spoiler alerts, but we don't really do spoilers in our community. But there'll be a rival app. So there'll be we're like Uber for heroes, but there'll be a Lyft to our Uber. And so it's all the stuff that we're building out for, and we use the comic book series as source material here and there, but for the most part, this is a brand new clean slate. So we do reference aspects of the comic series, and we will continue to do so as we build out the universe. We really do see Justice for Hire growing into a WWE of sorts, except with social media like content creation.
It does have that nice wrestling feel to it, and I've said it before on the show. I'm like surprised there's not more stuff out there that has that wrestling bits to it, because it lends itself so much to superheroes.
Well, isn't wrestling when it was first, when pro wrestling was first a thing back before the Attitude Era of WWE, before that everything was considered to be real in that sense, right? So they, as they call it, there goes the siren behind you.
That's
time for some heroes
in Los Angeles.
You know what I'm saying? So when back in the day when wrestling was as the term called kayfabe, if you never heard the term kayfabe, what it really is saying is that people were pretending to be these characters, but they were pretending to be these characters in real life. And in some cases, it got a little overkilled, and people really dealt with death threats and everything like that back then. So, there's a wrestler, Bruiser Brody, if anybody have heard of him, he was killed because of that. He died because of his character that he was playing, even though it was a character. So, back then that's how wrestling was. It was meant to be played as real.
Yeah.
And today is a little different.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I need to research more. I was not a wrestling fan growing up. I'm a born and raised martial artist. I actually have this book on me now that I have to start up.
Oh, look at
that. The graphic novel here. What is this? The comic book story of professional wrestling. So I'm doing a lot of research on something that didn't resonate when I was a kid because of martial arts, and now I recognize that these folks that were pretending in a ring were actually like expert stunt people.
Oh no, they weren't pretending in the ring. That's the first thing they'll tell you. So the wrestling aspect was real. It was the outcomes that were predetermined, as they like to say. If you tell a wrestler wrestling is fake, they will punch you.
They will.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more, learning more about this, all these experiences in the ring. Because again, as a kid, around, martial arts, punching and kicking each other, and then seeing the space between the punches in the wrestling that I was exposed to as a child, and I'm like, why is that person reacting to these punches when they don't look real? And that's something that we were doing at the Urban Action Showcase, where we're like, hey, okay, well, we're shooting this stuff on camera with our phones. Here's how to make it look, how to fake a punch. I was at Comic-Con 2 weeks ago in LA, taking stunt punches all day from random people walking up, because this is something you can teach fairly quickly. But again, like the trajectory of the WWE to me has been really, really interesting. But I just have not explored it deeply enough, and I really, really am any materials that you guys can recommend please let me know because I really want to learn more.
Yeah, there's a great docu-series on Vice. The name's escaping me. I'm trying to remember the name of the series. It's a docu-series on Vice.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
If you look up Dark Side of the Ring, it's a docu-series. Somebody's watching something. That sounds like my music. If you watch Dark Side of the Ring, it's a docu-series. It's objective. So the idea is that it's not picking an organization. Go check it out. You'll learn a lot from that.
There's also one about like the different territories too. Like I think it's Dark Side of the Territories or something. I don't know.
They made a new one, didn't they, recently?
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll totally check. Last night I watched the entire timeline of Street Fighter leading up to Street Fighter 6. So, we're very, very focused on timelines for great universes and great martial characters.
I'm very much waiting for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a game changer.
I played the beta Friday.
Oh, wow.
That's right. I forgot you got into the beta.
Yep.
Oh, Duque.
Dude, yeah, and I can see why Street Fighter would be interesting because it's right down your alley. It's almost it's very similar to what you guys are doing. Except they're trying to fight each other, and you guys have got your heroes going who are end up fighting, but it's not about the fight with the heroes. It's more about getting the job done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are so focused. I just picked this up from the library today. My father recommended it. It's called Policing the City, this graphic novel. It's called an ethnographic. And it's about the history of policing. And, there's so much, entertainment to me is like story is not for entertainment. Like entertainment is a byproduct of one use of story. But story at its core has always been about the education and upliftment of the tribe, from a primal standpoint. And, I really want to see more out of our stories that we're telling, and we want to have fun and we want to do cool stuff, but we want to put the research in to say, okay, well, what happens? Like, how do we make strong statements toward becoming the hero in your own life in a world where people are discouraged to do that, oftentimes? And doing as much. I was reading Scarlet a few days ago. I'm reading Django Unchained. I'm just like voraciously reading all these different. Kick-Ass again. Apparently I gotta pick up Kick-Ass 2 because that's apparently even better than 1. But the stuff that's left out of the film, that's in Kick-Ass, the graphic novel, is just like spectacular ideas.
Yeah. Oh, that's definite, man. And all that stuff is right up your alley because it's the universe. It's the same similar type of universe than the one you guys are creating.
Well, yeah, that's why check out Rogue's. I mentioned it earlier, Rogue's Gallery.
Yeah,
you got to check that one out. That's fairly new, so check that one out. That's dealing with like the social media side of things. And
when you said that earlier, I remember I walked by it on a stand in a comic shop, and I had to pull to it, but I didn't pick it up for whatever reason. So now I'm definitely gonna go back to it.
Yeah, it's a cool book.
So now you know what you have to pull.
Monday 6:30.
I gotta go get V for Vendetta also because I love.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
A classic,
Never read the book.
See, right there, V for Vendetta. That's where I'm pulling my character when I was doing the whole promo thing. Was here's this guy behind the scenes going, oh, there's stuff happening. So who do you guys think you are? Because I've always loved Anonymous or these type of characters that are doing something yet they're hiding. And you don't know who they are exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this, man. Like JFH it's our first show. The intention is to be as loud as possible, and like with a minimum marketing budget, etc. We've been able to get to this point and get a worldwide community, and it's because the idea of people stepping up as heroes in their own lives is uniting people. Exactly. And I'm really grateful that we're touching something, in the core of people, and we want to make sure that our next season that's already shot and people can still contribute on the app to the main story, that it takes it even farther. and that we use Justice for Hire as, you know, the proof point, saying, hey, you know, you can actually make movies and shows with a community. You can actually come together with your fans to studios and networks and say, look, you know, people and their creativity actually matter.
Exactly.
Like looking at people eye to eye and getting their opinion and getting them to work with you is actually the future, rather than keeping folks just at, you know, go to the box office, you know, put your money down and get the butts in seats and then go home and buy more merch. Like Comic-Con being about consumerism rather than creativity to me is an issue. And
oh, you got Jordan moving.
I heard a
Ron is
phrase.
probably gonna go point something out now.
I heard a certain phrase in there, and it made me want to go grab a book.
Which what? Butts and seats.
Yes.
The Dirk Manning Butts and Seats, of course.
Butts and
the
Seats.
Tony Schiavone story.
What's Butts and Seats about?
It's the Tony Schiavone story. It's a wrestler, announcer, wrestling guy. He's really
Commentator.
funny. Commentator. There you go.
He's a commentator.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I just saw that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Oh, yeah. Dirk Manning does amazing stuff. The Tony Schiavone story is fantastic. If you get a chance, pick it up.
Thank you. I actually touched that book a few weeks ago. Now that you mentioned it was about an announcer, and I thought about getting it as well, but I wasn't sure. I didn't have any thumbs up toward it. So now I do.
Oh yeah, the book did really well on Kickstarter. It outdid speculations.
It almost got to 150,000.
Exactly.
Wow.
You know, and the wrestling community really supports this stuff, really likes this stuff, and it's a colorful place to draw from, because especially the urban wrestling, it was all about the characters. Like Izzy was saying, you know, these guys were playing these characters, and they were playing them in and out of the ring, and that's why that guy ended up in trouble, because he starts to believe these people are who they say they are, and next thing you know, somebody's coming up and trying to get you. And it's funny that Izzy says that, because I've seen the same thing happen with soap operas. There'll be people who play villains in soap operas, and real people will come after them because they feel like they're the villains that they are in the soap opera, when, you know, they're just playing a character.
The chick who did what's her name from Game of Thrones? Izzy, you remember the chick? She like did her brother, and they were like kind of the rulers of the castle.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
It sounds like all of Game of Thrones.
I can't talk much about Game of Thrones. That's one that escaped me.
House Lannister. I can't remember. Cersei. There we go.
Cersei. Okay.
The chick who played Cersei, she had trouble getting jobs and gigs and to go to cons because people hated her because of how she played the character.
She did her job well, and now people don't like her because she did her job well. That's the bad.
Well, that happened. That's the same thing happened to Adam West for a very long time. Adam West could not get past being Batman.
Yeah.
For a very, very long time, and then it wasn't until the 90s that people had finally embraced the 67 Batman, you know, and say, you know what, this guy was awesome, and he finally, you know, was like, the only thing he could have done was become that Batman, and then afterwards they just gave him the love. So yeah, it was a thing back then where people got typecast as certain characters, and that's what ended up happening to a lot of people.
That's a definite. You know, so you always got to be careful. You always got to keep moving forward, keep the projects going. But you know, people will be people.
The rule of thumb is, if you're really good at a role, make sure you're really good in the next role.
Yeah.
Because that's how people are going to judge you.
If they give you.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the V for Vendetta mask that was on.
There you go.
Yep.
V for Vendetta. Great movie, great book.
The character too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fawkes, is that it? William
Guy
Fawkes?
Fawkes, yeah.
Guy Fawkes. There we go.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, if you want to change the world, you got to do stuff.
And also come up and also say a phrase with a lot of V's in it.
That is true.
that goes on for like 5 minutes in the movie.
That's a great scene, though.
The whole movie's great.
Well, yeah, of course.
Plus John Hurt's in it.
Alan Moore goodness, man. Or as the movie puts it, the writer.
The writer. Oh man. But I like what you guys are doing with this. I like the idea of Justice for Hire. I like all the bits and pieces of it. You know, I like the enthusiasm. I like your hustle, bro. I love the story that you have. That you're in the car doing your thing as a cabbie and hustling out there, trying to get your stuff out there. Tell them the story. Go ahead.
Yeah. So essentially, earlier this year, I was paying for digital ads out of pocket, and I mean, this is right around the time we were getting like 80, 90 cents back on the dollar. I'm like, man, this isn't sustainable, you know? And this was right around the time that, Apple changed their was it Apple? Yeah, Apple changed their permissions protocol, and Instagram was essentially saying that you can't market to anyone under 18 because the majority of folks that were responding to our ads were between 13 and 17. And so, like, essentially all the ad system had been disrupted, and I'm like, man, I need another way to get in front of people because I do my best to skip every ad. Like, honestly, like, it's a sport for me to skip ads.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, how do I tell people about this? I talk to the editor, and I thought about passing out postcards at different martial arts schools. I'm like, man, I'm in New York though, so I don't have a car. How am I gonna get one? And maybe I'll just rent one. And then I found out that that Lyft, they would rent you a car, no cash up front, to drive essentially like a day, because you can make all the cost of the car back in a day. And I was like, if I do that, people will come into the car, and now I have a mobile pitch meeting.
Right.
And I tried that for 2 months this summer, and within 2 months and 1 day, we not only got new investors and new cast members for Justice for Hire, but we got our first publicist ever, and we got our first events partner, Bernie Bregman, who's known as the king of cosplay parties. And like, all these folks were just like so responsive, especially in Hollywood, to essentially what we are calling the future of film and TV, which is like the audience and creating with them. And so, it was a magical two months and 1 day, and I was like, all right, I took some time off. We did Comic-Con, and obviously I run a production company, I'm running this company, and I came back to it at the end of summer. I was like, okay, let me try this on Uber, and it's just been amazing. It's such a wonderful way, driving specifically around Hollywood. That's like where the majority of the magic happens for me, and like, getting actors, writers, directors, producers to jump in, shout out videos with me. I have this whole collection of them that we're going to start releasing. Folks that just get it, and it's what we're doing is building a business eye to eye. And I think that if you get folks like Mark Zuckerberg and other social media leaders that get villainized for how people are treated on their platforms, and studios that have their own narratives where there's kind of a, hey, you watch this movie, but you can't cross these lines because there's all this elitism, and there's all this red tape and invisible walls. And we're just doing stuff saying, hey, you know what? We don't care about your IP. You about ownership of your IP. We want everyone to own their own intellectual property. You come to Real World, you own your character. We have a non-exclusive license to monetize anything you put on our platform, and then anything that is profitable, you make money off of. And like, just building story with people and making sure that they are properly compensated off of that. And playing the long game with them, and recognizing that it's actually about relationship rather than intellectual property. Right. And then when people trust you, they're going to keep on coming back and working with you. So, we're just building a new studio system that is social first. And Justice for Hire is that first project. And like I said, we're on WeFunder right now, which is the reason I'm driving. So anybody can invest in the company from WeFunder.com/realworld. And if you find me in Hollywood, I will be passing you one of these. If you get in the car, you've entered into the mobile pitch meeting.
Well, so you can show it off and keep talking for a minute. Let me put you up on the screen so people can actually
there's
get
QR
there.
codes on
There you go.
Look at that QR. That Autumn has been putting these together, and like beautifully designed. She's also a cast member and also a co-founder in Real World. And
That is
so
a
that's
really pretty well put together card. Yeah.
and there's so many great. I mean, these are just like one of these characters is Autumn. Right? She's AK Wonder in the series.
Yeah, I can see her there.
There's it's just we have so many creative, amazing, supportive people. Like to have a community of folks around the world that actually want to create with each other. And you met several of them at the Urban Action Showcase.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
Really fun.
You felt the energy with everybody, and you felt like it wasn't like an electricity. There was an energy there that it was just so much fun to do, and we all know we've worked on different projects before, and sometimes it becomes a job instead of being the fun that we want it to be. So anytime that you can find a project that you can actually enjoy and have fun in, it's always something that stands out from everything else.
Dude, it's really amazing when actors like Angelique Zambrana and we have Aurélie Jabard from Phineas and Ferb, and like just so many amazing folks that Aldous Davidson is in it. If he's a dear buddy, I was actually in a rap group with him, but he's from White Collar and and the Guy Code and MTV. But it's to have folks that know the system and know the industry walking onto our sets and recognizing that we're doing things differently. That to me is just it's a great honor, because then we get to have experiences like we had at Urban Action Showcase, where it's like, hey, you know what, we're all working together. And Lucky Goldberg, who was there from like HollywoodNewYork.com, he was one of the camera folks, and Lucky was saying, hey, this is not the way directors normally work with people. They're not this inclusive. They're not asking opinions.
Exactly.
And the position that I sit in with Justice for Hire, this is like, we call this world building. This is a world builder, and the reason we're on WeFunder is to make sure that we can offer our technology. We're patent pending. We want to offer this freely to everybody to be able to make their own movies and shows with communities, so that they can, someone says, hey, I want to make this sci-fi or this fantasy, and it's a completely original world. Here are some ideas, and start building. Exactly. And let's all meet up together and shoot. This is like LARP cinema, but it's organized in a way. There's a plan here, and we have 4 episodes out from our starter pack, our first season, and the next season's coming up. So, and it's way more ambitious.
Oh yeah, you guys got something going. I can't wait to see where you're going with it. Autumn, I can see that you've become a big part of this. How does all this stuff happen for you? Because I feel like there's a story there as well.
Yeah, so I'm a journalist. I wrote at Newsweek and reviewed movies and TV shows, comic books, mostly in the sci-fi genre world, and then wrote for IO9 and managed their audience development team. Mm-hmm. I think what really attracted me to Real World and Hire is that I think throughout my entire career, I've always been concerned with kind of shortening the gap between story and impact. So whatever I was writing and however people were reading or watching what I was doing, there was always a disconnect between that information that someone may receive or that inspiration someone may receive, and then how that impacts their daily life. And so I think when we're able to inject people into the story, the gap between story and impact can shrink, and we can all be on more of the same page to really mobilize some of the challenges we have in culture. So I think as a journalist transforming into the technology space, I now work at LinkedIn. It's kind of all for me as far as aligning with my personal values and wanting so for my life to always feel aligned with the creative projects I'm working on. I'm really excited about how many people we can reach on like a very granular level, and how many people we can include in one story that works towards one common goal. I think that there's not a lot of media companies or studios who are really focused on, hey, like, how can we help our audience? The audience wants so badly to be involved, and they're asking, hey, how can we help? Yeah. How can we contribute? And no one has a good answer. So
I completely agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I really love about what Real World's doing, and our first show, Justice for Hire, is really proving that hey, it's possible to say, hey, do you want to be involved? Or here's what you can do. And I really just think that we need more of that involvement in whatever entertainment happening.
Oh, I completely agree. I feel like it's almost like a massive multiplayer game being done live from everywhere, and then you're actually getting a chance to play your own character. Yeah,
that is exactly what we're doing. That's exactly it.
Because that's what it feels like. It feels like, okay, this is the MMORPG. This is what's going on. Now you play your character. So, Autumn, what's your character? Since he says that you do have a character.
My character is AK Wonder, which was like some deep cuts if you go in Reddit. And that's that name.
She saved the Expanse in real life.
I may or may not have saved the Expanse. Yeah. Pretty sure I did. But AK Wonder is still being developed, but is a journalist in story who is very upset in the journalism industry about pretty much everything, the chaos that you read anywhere about what the media industry is facing, wanting to make more of an impact, not feeling like what she's doing is really making an impact as far as her writing, and seeking emotionally charged, is seeking a way to have impact, and comes across Justice for Hire and wants to be involved. And I think that's as far in the story that as AK Wonder has gotten so far.
I like it. I like the fact that you guys are actually building this world. You guys are actually part of this world. Because that's important. Especially like if you're trying to lead. Sometimes the best way to lead is to be a part of what you want people to follow you in. And I know, Jan, you also have a character in there as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why a lot of the concept of bleeding into the real world in your real life is so I want to pay very close attention to that, because I play a character that has my name, Jan.
Yeah.
And I am reprising a role that I played for a while from the comic books. If you've read the JFH comic books, there's the characters Ebony and Ivory. And they're like sons of like these original vigilantes. So I am reprising that role, but from a very grounded perspective. And I'm essentially playing a former vigilante that realized that you can't actually change the world by yourself. And a team of heroes is also not going to be able to save the world. If you really want sustainable change, every single person needs to be a hero. So if that's the reality, then we need to be able to have some sort of platform that allows for that behavior to be cultivated. And that's what the Justice for Hire app is. It's us creating a heroes culture worldwide, where people who want to step up. And it's to me, it's been so challenging finding the authenticity over the years of how I would play a vigilante, a hero, or having action films as the stuff that I grew up on, but those characters never really made me feel like that was me on screen. And I really think that it was Robert Downey Jr. who, through his portrayal of Iron Man, really showed a superhero, a heroic character that was okay being hurt and vulnerable. And I just love obviously his performance catalyzed an entire cinematic universe. And I'm doing my best from a performance standpoint to say, okay, well, this is how I interpret a vulnerable hero in a vigilante world. And in a world that is, let's say, post-vigilante, where we're attempting to legalize crowdsourced justice.
So I have to admit, dude, it's a great way of doing the whole thing. I like the idea. It's also a good way to lead in the show itself, so that okay, this is where we might need to go. This is the narrative. It's a good way to control the story as well and still leave it open. And I gotta admit, dude,
Absolutely, yeah.
you are so animated that I love those things that you do at the conventions, where everybody comes and gets a chance to hit you.
Thanks, man. Taking those punches is I'll tell you this: we had another community shoot inspired by what we did with Urban Action Showcase at Comic-Con LA 2 weeks ago, and for insurance reasons, I was like, okay, no one's gonna take Impact except me. I'm gonna play sometimes I'll throw a ninja suit on, and folks can chase me and beat me up. It'll be fine. And I stuck here at home that day, and so I was taking impact on hard impact on the ground with no padding, and I was like, you know what, it's okay, but it definitely took some recovery time. I'll tell you that.
Dude, it looks like a lot of fun. I think it's a good way to get the name of your show out there. The videos that come out of it are hilarious. If you guys get a chance, check out their Instagram or their Facebook. You'll get a chance to see a lot of these little videos that they did at the conventions. And check out Justice for Hire while you're at it. Speaking of which, we are at the 15 mark. So tell them where they can find you and all the good stuff so that they can go check you guys out or support whichever way they can.
You guys can find Justice for Hire at justiceforhire.com. You can learn all about what we're doing. You can find the app from there. It's a progressive web app, so that means you don't need to download it. You can just access it right from your phone. If you want to go to the app directly, where all the creativity happens, it's justiceforhire.app, and we're there. And if you want to own part of the company, if you want to see more shows made with communities, you go to wefunder.com/realworld, and that's REELWURLD. Because you're in it, as you can see on the card. But it's all about making movies and shows with the world. This is the future, and we united can do anything.
I agree, and I love the message that's there. I like that, because of course everybody wants to do something. Everybody wants to see if they can make the world a better place, and sometimes you have to take the challenge, accept the call to adventure, and become the hero that the world needs.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta treat your story like a Hollywood franchise. We got all the tools for that.
Dude, one of the beautiful things that's happened, and I love how it is now, is the fact that before it was all about you needed to do stuff with those people. Now, if you want to do something, you just need to do it. Just get out there and do it. It's so possible to do whatever you want to do. And the whole thing is just accept the call to adventure.
100,000%. And we're so appreciative of you having us on here.
Dude, man, as soon as I saw you guys, I wanted you guys on because I wanted you guys to spread the word as much as possible. It's you guys are a lot of fun. I've been watching what you've been doing. You have great energy. You're putting the word out there in a lot of fun, different ways. I want to see you guys succeed.
Oh man, that means a great deal, man. And I'm hoping to see you join the cast as a hero, villain, or client. And
or something.
We respond I personally respond directly to pretty much every outreach. So whether it's you guys or anybody who's watching this, if you ever have a thought, question, or idea, reach out on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or wherever, Facebook. We're there, and or just DM in the app because injusticeforhire.app because we have a whole cast chat experience in there. There's nothing like our app in the world. So be sure to check that out. It's actually pretty groundbreaking stuff.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good way if you guys want to be creative. Here's an outlet for you guys to be creative. You can create your own character, get creative, and it gives you a nice home base to you don't have to do everything yourself because you're part of this big universe where you can just play.
Yeah, man. And we have sponsored stunt training in multiple states too. New York, Texas, here in Los Angeles. I'm driving to the martial arts school right now at Shaolin American Self-Defense Academy. in North Hollywood. So if you're part of our cast, that means you get to come and train with us for free. It's free to join the cast, and it's free to come in and do some stunt training with us on the nights that we're here. So, and we don't publicize that too much because it's still very new. So if you are interested in that, you can always DM and ask questions after you join the cast.
There you go. There you have it, folks. Go check them out. This is something that you guys should really take a good look at. Like I said, if you're looking to be creative and having a nice place to relax and be supported and you know, put your foot in the water, sort of, to see how you want to do things. You know, here's a chance.
But it's cold outside.
Hey, sometimes, you know, you got to just jump into the water. You can be a polar bear. So, guys, what's the last word for you guys?
Izzy, you want to go first?
Go to the Izzyverse. Don't forget to vote for the Izzy Awards. The link is in the description.
It is.
Until next time. Happy holidays.
Nathan.
Hold on, because Ralph needs to get something for me.
I don't want to get nothing for you. Oh, I'm supposed to pull up Floof? All right, so keep talking.
Exactly. So, Jordan.
Yeah.
Are bananas berries?
Perhaps.
Are cucumbers berries?
Also, mayhaps.
Well, find out next time, where we, the Bit and Apple, take a bite of the foods for you guys to tell you. Are they fruits? Are they berries?
Really? Is that what we're going to do? Is that what we're going to do?
I'm just saying it's a good idea. But you know what's also another good idea? Following Floof Schmalo, our amazing artist here at the Bit and Apple, who does a beautiful artwork. She had just finished a Kickstarter. She's starting on another project that, by the way, looks amazing. So go ahead, follow her, give her lots of love, and also, she's currently in a cosplay contest. So go like that book off page with Floof Schmalo and share it. We might not win first or second, but we certainly can try.
So you're saying that it's their fate to go and do this, right?
Yes.
Can't forget about Natasha.
There you go.
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just follow.
Come on.
Just follow Floof Schmalo. Even though she's over here on the side telling me to shut up, but follow Floof Schmalo.
Follow Floof Schmalo.
Oh my God! All right, Jordan.
One of you guys have one of the things I can talk about. I just don't know which one of you have it.
ArnComic.com.
No, we can't talk about that anymore.
That one's done.
Listen, ArnComic.com is still there.
It's there, but
exactly, ArnComic.com.
Can't do anything with it anymore.
Well, until he opens it for pre-orders.
Buy this book.
Yes, Bitsy Tandem.
Nice.
And her world of Eoterra.
And if you can't read in English,
nominate it, Bitsy Tandem.
And if you can't read English,
yes,
go Japanese.
This is one of the books that you can nominate for the Izzyverse Awards.
Make sure to nominate Bitsy on the Izzyverse Award.
The Little Engine That Could Award. That's what that was.
Exactly.
And next year, a very special comic from one of my very good friends is coming out, and that's what I'm trying to allude to, but I'm not sure which one of you has a picture of it.
Not sure if you can hear me, but thank you guys so much.
No problem, we can. Jan, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, everyone.
It's either Nathan or Ralph. Which one of you have the picture?
I have a picture of what?
I can't pull anything out, man.
The print.
And we're printing what?
Which one?
The giant picture, the 7 out of 50.
The who?
Oh my lord! You're killing me here.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
We're talking about people. I don't know what we're talking about. You act like Rich Davis is our friend, and he would give us stuff, to send to you.
He gives me things.
Yeah, I don't have it. That's all in Ralph.
Oh,
Ralph. Who's Ralph?
I think I'm not part of this conversation anymore. So.
Yeah, it's all because you didn't put me in.
Well, you went to the convention. You
just to let you know, I did consult with Ralph and Nate for that matter. So you can blame it on them.
I mean, I'm technically in there because of Bit and Apple, but
hey,
I could always be in there twice.
I feel like Jordan doesn't want to be a part of us, Nat. He wants to be
exactly
horrible Hagars. So he can
we got Bitsy in. We got Bitsy in, man.
He wants to be nominated for horrible Hagar on YouTube.
If you want a good holiday movie for the year,
if you want a good holiday movie for the year, you could go check out the Izzyverse for the holiday classics picks. It's also on Izzyverse.
Hey, Mystic Despair.
Or go watch The Room.
Oh, that is a great,
not a holiday movie.
Yeah, it is. And if you don't want to watch,
and so is Die Hard, so is Batman Returns. Yeah. What about Batman Returns?
Batman Returns is absolutely a Christmas movie,
right?
Yes.
What about Iron Man 3? Is it Iron Man 3?
Or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yes.
Isn't that where they're going?
Or
there's a really good one if I can remember it.
It's so good you can't remember it.
Or everyone's favorite Mike Myers movie.
Oh, that Waynesboro got nothing on that.
I know.
I'm just saying that The Grinch is one of those movies that has aged well. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Tokyo Godfathers is a great Christmas movie.
Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger is a great.
Yeah, that is a good movie. I'm not gonna lie, I like that
movie.
Jingle
All the Way is a great movie. We don't talk about the sequel to Jingle All the Way, right?
We don't talk.
No one's talking about that one. This is a sequel to Christmas Vacation too, and no one cares about that one.
We don't talk about the Larry the Cable Guy sequel.
Oh God, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks.
I think it's time.
On the Izzyverse, there's a lot of great stuff to vote for. The survey we're
also getting confirmation from Floof. Tokyo Godfathers, you should go watch it.
Tokyo Godfathers is a great movie.
Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind.
There you go.
Or watch all 3 Mortal Kombat Legends movies because they're all good.
And if you want to join us on Wednesday, we'll be talking video games. And we might have a nice RPG group that are making their own RPG here talking with us. So tune in.
Isn't there a show tomorrow?
Yeah, there's a show tomorrow. Tomorrow the show will be with the guys from Cupid's Farewell Christmas.
I was gonna say, I'm like, we're skipping the Wednesday.
It's the Christmas episode.
Well, no, it's the guys from Cupid's Farewell Christmas. If you like Christmas done the adult way, check it out.
Or
I know what you're talking about.
Or go to your local movie theater and watch Violent Night.
I heard a lot of good things about that one.
I know. I want to see it.
Violent Night looks great. It looks like a great action movie, and who doesn't want to see Santa Claus kick butt?
Mm-hmm.
Or to put it in another term, who wants to watch Hellboy from 2017?
Oh, please no.
No,
he just has to mess it up. His name is Hopper.
No.
Hopper Christmas. Hopper Christmas.
No.
Those are Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is bad. Hellboy is good.
Stranger Things is bad and Hellboy is good. What?
I liked the new Hellboy over Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman is Hellboy to me.
Nah.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman is Hellboy. I'm sorry.
No, this one is. This one is.
I don't know, man. I think you're on the odd end on this one.
All
right, folks. Join us tomorrow for more exciting stuff of Christmas carols and Christmas fun and a nice kick-ass Santa.
There you go.
Or Cupid's Farewell Christmas or Miss Claus Tells All. And Wednesday, you'll be hanging out with a bunch of video game guys going, hey, should I get that video game for Christmas? Yes, you should.
Hey.
And of course, Izzy will be doing his Izzy thing with all his awards on what is
December 29th, man. You're joining us, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
Listen, if he's not there, just send me a message, Izzy.
Oh, we'll get the Ralph.
This is brought to you by Hip Comics.
Hey, we gotta reach out to Hip Comics, man. That's actually a pretty cool app. So if you haven't checked it out,
I feel like I might join it because it's an easier way to keep track of this stuff.
I need to take a picture of all my comics, as you can see back here.
Dude, yeah, if you can see in front of me. I'm like, what comic store are you at?
but I will say one thing. What's that comic book you had there, Jordan? What's the comic book there? I would love to try to scan that baby in a Hip comic. See
I
what
wonder how it
happens.
will come out. Yeah.
Sorry.
Bitsy Tandem.
Volume 2 Kickstarter is next year.
There you go. So he might make it to the Little Engine and Kudalord or the Stretch Goals Award. So
whatever you do, don't look at the back of this book and think that we're getting a Kickstarter in late 2022 because we're not.
Well, late 2022. Like very last day. You'll be December 31st. The Kickstarter kicked in.
We'll talk about it in the 2022.
There you go. All right, guys. I think it's time to tap out.
Okay.
All right, so folks, the last thing we will tell you is go help out Phil Russert and his latest Kickstarter, which is The Devil's in the Details. The book only has 2 days left, I think it is. Let's see.
And don't forget to pester James Tinian into doing book 2 for Something is Killing.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. My computer's acting up, but let's see what we got here.
Whoa.
$1,701. Hey, I'm trying to see that.
No. I think it's telling you a message. I think it's telling you a message.
Straight up blocked them out.
I'm pretty sure it's just telling you a message, man.
Oh, God.
32 backers, 71 hours to go. The Devil's in the Details. Go check it out before my computer blows up.
Oh God.
Izzyverse nominated. Izzyverse nominated Phil Russert.
Exactly. Or if you want to help out Written Ralph, you can help me get it.
Now you get it. We started something here.
Computer dies.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What happens when you use a Chromebook?
I told you. It's funny. I was telling you guys in the messages, something's wrong with this thing.
You're using a Chromebook?
I wish I was using a Chromebook. It'd probably be better than this. All right, folks, there you have it. Unlike the other show, when this ends, this happens.